Okay, the last film we're reviewing this week is called Bloodstained Memoirs, and this is a new wrestling documentary chronicling a journey by a director named David Sinnott, an unabashed fan of wrestling himself. He loves the sport, and he sits down with some of these, big superstars of the wrestling business. As a lot of you know, of course, I am a huge wrestling fan, but this film left a lot to be desired. Now, here's the thing. Wrestling with Shadows, this documentary about Bret Hart, released back in 1998, made my 10 best of the year that year, was really an eye-opening, thought-provoking documentary that really opened the world into wrestling. It opened one door, and also there's another door. You ready for the next? That was when Beyond the Mat came out in 99 or 2000. Either way, that opened the door for that film. And then it just seems to try to advance more. This is what this film tries to do, except for the casual wrestling fan, I don't think it'll be easy for people to quite comprehend this, what's going on. I mean, if there's a curiosity of the appeal to realize these wrestlers live, then I guess it might be there. But really, for the casual John Cena, oh my gosh, it's John Cena type fan, they're not going to enjoy this film. Now, there's some good personalities here. Now, this film has been going on now, I think, for almost 5 or 6 years. Why, you ask? Because when Vince McMahon let anybody, any one of his wrestlers that he's under contract, be involved in the documentary? No, not after the Beyond the Mat fiasco. As far as I'm concerned, this film is really just, it suffers from being dated, it suffers from being, not really touching on any really major pointed issues, and I think the big problem with that is that most of the film before the whole thing with the whole Chris Benoit thing went down back in 2007. How old is this? I'll tell you. Chris Jericho's in this film. He's been back with the WWE since November of 2007. Christian Cage, or aka Christian, he is back. He's back with the WWE as well. Now, there's some good personalities in this film. Like I said, Al Snow, who's just a really funny person, one of my all-time personal favorites. There's also, again, as I mentioned, Chris Jericho, Christian. There's Molly Holly. She's a very smart woman, very smart women's wrestler. Also, RVD, Rob Van Dam. He also knows his way around the business quite a bit. He's been through quite a lot. But see, the problem is that it really just is a bunch of interviews spliced together, and it looked unorganized somewhat. Mick Foley, we couldn't even get a one-on-one with him. The director couldn't get a one-on-one with him so badly that he had to talk to him at a book signing. And I know that makes for an interesting scene, but really, it seems like it's distracting for Foley while this is going on. And another thing, too, is that it also makes you think about why Bret Hart pulled out of this project. There's a big controversy about 2 years ago where Bret the Hitman Hart pulled out of this project due to some problems with the booking and that. He said, it's not my problem. The director, David Sinnott, tried to label Bret Hart as the bad guy, but really I'm starting to think this production, I don't think, was really going as crisp and clean as it should have, and Bret Hart was, not willing to take part in it. And it was also due to problems with his management as well. It's a whole big story. You can probably look it up online. Anyway, moving on. Now, there are some interesting stories here. Some, as a diehard fan, I already knew. And this is a movie made from a fan, I guess, for the fans, I suppose, and especially for the diehards. And it's only available via download on the website, www.bloodstainedmemoirs.com. Now, another thing, too, is that it just lacked any real zip. It just seems that the wrestlers are like a lot of, older wrestlers who are, washed up, I guess is for lack of a better term. Give me my money, and I'll do it. Sadly, I hate to say it, it doesn't take a lot for some of these wrestlers to do this sort of thing. Now, clearly the interest in the project by the likes of Chris Jericho, Rob Van Dam, the great Muta of Japan, who was just a wrestler to behold back in his day, and Christian, all financially stable wrestlers, probably just seemed intrigued by the project and wanted to lend their voice, and wanted to say the things I couldn't say while being under contract with Vince. Well, now they are under contract with Vince again and can't say anything else, really. Either way, this movie has its appeals, and even though it just seemed a little unstable, I guess you could say is the best word I can use, I'll say that it was interesting at least, and I wasn't bored, even though it didn't tell me anything I didn't already know. But I guess I gotta recommend it from a new viewer standpoint, I suppose, and I suppose they should enjoy it. So I give Bloodstained Memoirs 3 stars out of 5, and that is it for this week's edition of Bill Chasing the Movies. I'll be back more next week with some big blockbusters, including Get Him to the Greek, the unofficial sequel to Forgetting Sarah Marshall, one of the best films of 2008, one of the best modern comedies, period, starring Russell Brand and Jonah Hill. Also Splice, a new sci-fi thriller starring Oscar winner Adrian Brody and Canadian girl Sarah Polley. Also Holy Roller starring Jesse Eisenberg, Marmaduke, and The Trotsky starring Jay Baruchel. That's it for this week's edition of Bill Chasing the Movies, and if you want to support me, join my Facebook group. It's spelled just the way it is in the title of the video. Talk movies, send me some feedback, anything, and I'll respond to it. And that is it, and I am Bill Chase. Until then, I will be at the movies. Goodbye, everybody.